Amikta Batra, and with me is Sonia Shenoy as well as Mangalam Malu. Well, it seems as though we are definitely celebrating the festive season for the markets. Just look at the rally that we have on our hands at this point in time. Courtesy what has taken place in the US, the data from the US indicated that maybe that, the tightening from the Fed might not be as aggressive going forward simply because a few chinks are showing in the economic data. That's the hope at this point in time. But for us, we're taking this rally with both hands, not to mention that we had an FII net buy figure which came through as well.
After so long, right? After 6-7 days of selling, finally buying from FIs. But the reasons may be plenty. All I can say is that this is a really volatile market. I mean, 2 down days, 1 up day. We're just chiming to the tune of what the global markets are throwing up. But at least the 200-day moving average, which is 16,970, is holding for now. So the bulls would like that. And it's fitting on a day just ahead of Dussehra when all of us are celebrating in our traditional finery. The market is also doing a bit of a jig.
The market is doing a jig. And you know what? I take your point on the volatility in the market, etc. and the FIs buying. But what they also did was they were shorting lock, stock and barrel in index futures. And what today's rally does is that it's sustaining at higher levels. So those shorts may probably have to cover their positions. And tomorrow is a holiday. So to that extent, the second half of trade will be extremely crucial, whether those shorts cover their positions or whether these longs take home some of the money ahead of the holiday. But all of that and more in the next 1 hour or so, and also the second half of trade. First up, we do have the management of KEC International with us. They've won orders worth nearly 1,400 crores. The company's order intake this year now stands at 8,400 crore, which is a 50% increase year on year. Vimal Kejriwal, the MD and CEO of the company, now joins us on the show. Thanks a lot, Mr. Kejriwal, for joining in. It's a 50% jump that you've seen in order intake for the first half of this year, so to say. What's your outlook for the intake, the overall order inflow for this year? And with these orders, what does your order book stand at?
So, good afternoon, Mangalam. I think with these orders, our order book is just about 25,000 crores and we have L1s of around 7,000. So, overall, we are at around 30,000, 32,000 crores. And as far as the year target is there, we have been looking at between 18 to 20,000, hopefully to touch 20,000 crores order intake for the year.
Okay, can you just repeat your target with regards to the order intake, Mr. Kejriwal?
Yeah, our target is around between 18 to 20,000 crores.
18 to 20,000 crores. Can you break it up for us in terms of which segments and which geographies are you expecting that incremental order book to come through from?
So broadly, the transmission, the T&D sector should contribute around 40% of the order intake, sorry. And the balance would be, I'll say, I don't know the exact number, but another 40% would be civil and then railways. I'll say broadly, that's the business-wise breakup. And geographically, if you look at it, it will be around 30% coming in, or maybe 25% coming in from the international market, which is primarily T&D, and the rest would be India.
Okay, Mr. Kejriwal, good afternoon. So this is your second railway order, right, in this TCAS segment. And I understand that in all of FY22, the railway business was pretty flat. Now, do you see it coming back in a big way and any more order visibility over there?
So, Sonia, both FY22 and FY21, railway business has been slack. Yeah. But of late, suddenly we are seeing a large number of orders coming out, tenders coming out in railways across all the spheres, whether it is speed upgradation, whether it is new lines, whether it's gauge conversion. So we are actually presently surprised. In fact, our railway order intake this year has been almost close to 2,000 crores, which is almost equivalent to what we did last year or the year before.
Makes sense. So, now that you have 32,000 crore worth orders, you had guided for a 20% revenue growth in FY23. Margins you were a little, shaky to comment upon. Now we're closer to the halfway mark of this year. What are your thoughts? Would you want to revise your revenue targets for this year and probably give us a margin guidance?
So, Mangalam, our guidance has been around 15%, okay, and not at 20. But I think we should be doing better than that, the way things are happening and the way orders are coming in. And also, the revenue should be aided by the fall in the commodity prices, okay? So, I think that should also push a lot of execution. Hopefully, we'll do definitely better. Q1, we had 31%. We'll keep our fingers crossed saying how much more we can do, but we'll definitely exceed 15%.
And the margins?
Margins are still under a cloud in the sense that we have got a lot of committed costs. So as I said earlier also, I think from Q3 onwards, we'll start seeing the margins bumping up, and Q3 and Q4 should be reasonably good. And from FY24 is the time when we have been saying that our margins should be back to, close to our double-digit margins.
Okay. Can you give us a sense in terms of how the international business is doing? For example, your operations in Brazil. Give us a sense, because now commodity prices are pulling back a little bit. There's an expectation of a recession we could probably see globally. So what is business like on the international front?
So international, in fact, if you look at today's orders, all the orders in the transmission are from the MENA region. And after a long time, there has been an interconnection between different countries. This is between Saudi and Kuwait. So clearly the oil revenue is at play somewhere. The second area where we are seeing a lot of demand is on the United States itself. I think after all the disasters which they have faced, they are really getting into rebuilding their infrastructure. In fact, our Mexico plant, so running at 40-50% for the last few years, is now booked for maybe next 6 quarters, all supplies to United States. The area where we are not seeing much happening is Africa. Unfortunately, that's a market which we had thought will do well. Did well for the last few years, but I think this year, maybe because of the financings being diverted towards COVID and other places, we are seeing a slack in that market. Europe, we are not there, so I think the recession is more about Europe. I think fortunately we are not there. So as of now, we are actually seeing that this year, particularly, our international business will grow by almost 30 to 40% in terms of revenue.
Okay. I remember pre-COVID, it was a matter of privilege and pride, right, to be exposed to markets like Europe, North America, and now how tables have turned. I mean, people are glad that they're not part of those economies because of the challenges there, especially Europe, I'm talking about. Just coming back to that point you were making about railways, you said that you're surprised to see such a surge in the order book, and so far you have about 2,000 crores of orders. The order visibility, the number that I have for the next 7 to 8 quarters purely from railways is 7,000 crores. Do you see more than that? Would you want to update that number? And also, as a part of your overall business, railways is currently 16%. Do you see the contribution rise?
So railways will definitely rise. This year itself, we do expect them that will be at least, I'll say, around 20 to 25% of our revenues would come from the railways. And the other piece is that, earlier we were not seeing so much of doubling and tripling of lines. Somehow, suddenly we are finding a lot of projects coming up on that. And also on the piece of where the railways want to increase the speed. Mission Raftar is one place where we are seeing a lot of orders coming in. In fact, last time when we had announced an order, you will be surprised, the order was basically to ensure that wild animals and elephants can pass a track. So we had got an order of almost 500 crores to raise the level of the line so that we are building under bridges and other things for animals to pass. So there's a lot of things which are coming out in the railways, which are a surprise. The other piece in the railways is that we have also started bidding for international railway orders, and we are delivering a couple of them. So I do expect that some part of our railway revenues will start coming in from the international market also. And that will add to the percentage of railway revenue in our total numbers.
Right. The other growth path for the company was the one that you would see in your civil business as well. So if you could give us a sense of how much the civil business would be this year and the next year. And secondly, I remember us speaking at the start of this year, you said that by Q2, Q3, you would get some orders from green corridor as well, the green energy corridor. Has that happened? So both on civil and the green energy corridor?
So what has happened is that the Rajasthan piece is still not clear. The cases are still in Supreme Court. So tenders in that region are getting postponed, but some of our orders which were on hold have been released. So revenue has started accruing on some of the earlier orders, let me put it this way. In Gujarat, we have got a few orders. Last time we had announced orders in Gujarat. So they are all power grid orders. And they are ultimately connecting to the green energy corridor. Okay, so work has started on those orders. More in the area of Navsari and all that. There are 3 or 4 orders which you have received there.
Okay, just a quick question, Mr. Kejriwal, from my end. You did have issues with regards to Afghanistan. You did have some outstanding payments. Where do things stand? Have things eased out? Have you started receiving payments, or is that a bad debt now?
So, no, it is not bad debt. We have not yet received the payments, but you have to understand that all these payments are from multilaterals like World Bank, ADB, and USAID, and at least one of them is also insured with ECGC. So we are in continuous dialogue with them, and they are also very keen to restart the project or make the payment. So we have been having discussions. Maybe hopefully in Q3 we should at least receive part of the payment. We are very confident that not even $1 would be abandoned there. No.
Okay, Mr. Kejriwal, we leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in. All the best. That's KEC International, very upbeat as far as the new order wins are concerned. The order intake has gone up about 50%, and they say that 20 to 25% of the revenues will now come from the railway sector compared to 16% earlier. So the contribution will go up from there. Let's slip into a quick break, but there's lots happening in the world of FMCG with so many companies giving out their business updates. Abneesh Roy of Edelweiss Securities will join in to discuss the demand.